So we've mixed things up a little bit this afternoon, and we've got a panel of 4 amazing speakers who are going to be sharing with us this afternoon. So I might invite them up onto the stage. So how about you guys all make your way up here? 4 amazing panelists this afternoon. And you young leaders can have your pens and things ready. And as they're coming up, we've heard from lots of speakers today, and you might have some ideas about something you want to pursue. Maybe you want to pursue an area in sport or in social entrepreneurship, or maybe something in the creative arts. But I'm wondering whether you have considered these things. Have you considered helping young people positively get through life? Have you considered working in the community as a police officer? Maybe making technology that nobody has ever seen yet, or maybe going to an ice cream university. Yeah. So these panelists this afternoon have done some of those things. And normally what I would do is I would give each of these panelists, each of our speakers, an introduction. And I would tell you all about them, but we're not going to do that this afternoon, because what we've asked them to do is to give you a 30-second elevator pitch. Hands up if you've been in a lift. You've gone up and you've gone down. All right, hands down. An elevator pitch is when you get a very short amount of time. The length of time from when you get in the lift and you go up in the lift and then you get out of the lift wherever you're going. You've got that amount of time to convince someone, and this is their job this afternoon, to convince you of why they have the best job in the world. So each of our panelists this afternoon are going to give you a little pitch of why they think they have got the best job in the world. And so we might, well, you're not in the same order as that, but that's okay. We might start with you, Sean, and we'll make our way along. Now, after each of them have given their little pitch, you have to give them a big round of applause, okay? So I'm going to take a seat, and you get to lead the way with telling us, Sean, why you have the best job in the world.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I won't need 30 seconds. I only need a very brief moment to actually sell you on why I've got the best job in the world. I get paid to eat gelato. For those that don't know what gelato is, it's ice cream. So my job is every single day I get to taste, eat lots of gelato and come up with cool new flavours to put out in my shop. Not a bad job.
I was very mean to these 3 girls, letting Sean go first. We should have definitely done ladies first, shouldn't we? All right, Michelle, how about you tell us why you've got the best job in the world?
Oh, well, that is really hard to follow. My name's Michelle, and I work at Microsoft, and I think I have the coolest job in the world because working in technology, it doesn't matter what you love, there is a job for you, and they will pay you an awful lot of money to do it. Are there any artists in the room who likes to draw? Right? So we need plenty of artists to design the beautiful games that you see for Xbox or for any of those other consoles. Who likes to write stories?
Yeah.
So we need people to write those games, and we need people to design the plots for a lot of things that we do in the technology industry. Who likes music? So obviously we need beautiful scores to be the background for those games as well. Who likes people? So in my job, I get to go out and talk to people every day and make friends with them, and that's really, really fun. And who doesn't like people and wants to be by themselves? That's hard for you guys to say. But yeah, if you like that too, then there are plenty of jobs that you can do where you just hide yourself away in a room and do that all by yourself. So I think it's the coolest job in the world.
You certainly covered the grounds there with artists and technology and all of us who love people and all of us who don't love people. That's pretty much everyone in the room.
So. I didn't even say science or math.
No, you didn't.
And obviously, if you love to code, if you like maths, if you like puzzles, do that too.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. All right, Pav, tell us
Okay.
why you've got the best job.
Well, I'm
the
following
world.
Gelato and Xbox, so this is, and then I'm followed by Zen, who's apparently famous.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
Some of
tough.
you young leaders actually recognised Zen and mobbed her out
Yeah.
there in the pavilion.
Yeah. I believe that I have the best job in the world because I work for Headspace. Has anyone heard of Headspace? Yeah, we've
Few
got
of
a
them.
few. So we are a youth-focused organisation, and we work with helping young people that are having a hard time. So I spend my days just talking to young people. So from 9 to 5, I get to sit in a room on a couch and just talk to 12 to 25-year-olds about what's going on and how I can help them.
Yeah, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Give her a round of applause. And Zen, tell us why you have got the best job in the world.
What do you think, guys? Why do you think I got the best job in the world? Why? Because I'm a police officer.
Yeah.
I got the best job in the world, to me, is because I can help everyone, whether that person is a bad person or a good person, all right? Whether it's a child, it's a teenager like you, or an adult, or an old people, seniors, all right? So that's why I love my job, and it's so good whenever you do something, when you attend to a case or anything, all right? When you attend to a presentation or cases or wherever you are, you see something, it's just the instinct in you to say, and your mind will tell you, you have to help that person. He or she needs help. So anytime, it's at my fingertip. Whenever someone needs help, I'm there.
How good's that? I love it. I love it. You know, we've been talking all day about mastering the little, and obviously you guys have been talking about your jobs. And one of the things that certainly the adults in the room will be able to relate to, and I'd love you to talk to the young leaders about it, and that is this whole idea of work. Because if we talk to our parents or possibly our grandparents about what their job was like, it's probably very different to what jobs are like now. And particularly, we've got 4 completely different jobs here. So, Sean, I'm wondering maybe if you might kick us off on how has work changed, and what have you noticed that means work is different than what it used to be, and specifically for you?
I think the first thing that I've noticed over the last, let's say, a generation almost, is that our grandparents and our parents used to think that there were set careers that you had to chase. I know that we were talking earlier, and Zen was talking about the pressures that she felt, that I needed to go on to be a doctor or a lawyer or an accountant or whatever the specified career paths were. But with the changing world in technology, communications and artistry and all of those areas now, there are no limits on what we can do. I think if there's something that you actually love doing, you can turn it into a job.
Yeah.
There's, as you guys would have heard earlier, there's a guy who's making an income from paper planes. How fantastic is that?
Yeah.
There's people that, in Michelle's word, creating apps. But for me, I now make ice cream. And 10 years ago, I never thought I'd be doing that. So my advice when it comes to the changing work environment is if there's something out there that you love, don't let anyone tell you that that can't be a job. Because if you love it enough, you will find a way to make that work. And the best part about it is if you love it, you'll never work a day in your life.
Did you catch that? Yeah, that was awesome. If you love what you do, from eating ice cream to making paper planes or whatever it is, you'll never work a day in your life. Michelle, what about you? Because the way you kind of do work, you don't rock up to the office at 9 a.m. and go home at 5 a.m. What does it look like for you working at Microsoft?
So No one at Microsoft really cares whether I am at work or whether I'm at a customer site or whether I'm at a cafe or at the beach. It's not really their business. I mean, when I say they don't care, obviously they'd be happier if I was there. But we have the freedom to work from anywhere we like. So Singapore, Sydney, Seattle, I could be the other side of the world and it wouldn't matter to them. Also, they don't expect me to be there between the hours of 9 and 5. There's no one checking up on me. There's no one watching me. What they say is it's about outcomes, not hours. So there's stuff that I need to do for my job, and I need to get that stuff done. But when I get it done and how I get it done is entirely up to me. So it means I can think about what are my strengths and what do I like doing and play to those. Like really, do the things that I do well and apply them to my job so that I can get it done quicker and then spend more time at the beach.
Does that sound good to you? Who'd like to spend a bit more time at the beach? Awesome. And obviously today we're talking a lot about leadership, and Zen, I'd love to know what you've experienced. We've got a room full of young leaders and they're doing little things all during the day that make them a great leader, or perhaps not doing little things that's not making them a great leader. What are some of those little things that you need to do in your role that make a difference each day? Like some of those little leadership things that make your days and weeks run smoothly.
It's very simple. Be sincere, humble, polite, respect others, no matter what color they are, what dress they wear, all right? And the most important thing is be professional, all right? When I say be professional as myself, wherever I go out there, I remember one thing, that I'm in my uniform as what you guys are. I always remember that I'm working for someone, I'm working for my organization. Whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever action I take, it doesn't only reflect on me, it also reflects on my organization. And the same like you guys, okay? The same like you guys, because you guys are in your uniform. That uniform there represents your school, right? And where you belong. So whatever action you take out there, how you behave, what you say to others, it will, it's a reflection for your school. Whether if you do something which is bad, it will reflect badly at yourself, and also it will give a back reflection to your school. All right? And always respect yourself and also respect others.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's how I
And
do
what
it.
about you, Pav? For you, you're working with young people who are going through stuff, and life's going on, and we've heard from a couple of speakers today who have experienced, Dylan, who was speaking earlier, talked about how he got very sick and he had to work through that. What are some of the little things that you need to do every day that make you a great leader? What are those little things what does it look like for you?
So what I find is as time goes on, I'm just getting more and more comfortable in my skin. And it's really actually helped me in finding the right job. So as everyone else said, it's like following what you love. So at my workplace, because it is quite, we're giving therapy and we're helping people with issues, we always debrief. So I can walk into my staff room and just chat and just talk to everyone and talk about exactly how I feel. And it's a very supportive environment. And so I feel like I am so transparent at work, and it's a very nice feeling to know that everyone that you work with knows who you really are and accepts you. So
So for a young leader here to know that it's all about them being them.
People will know when you're putting an act on. So I just think be yourself, and the right staff members and managers, they'll really appreciate that. And it'll come back and they'll be like, it's exactly why maybe Michelle gets that freedom, is your manager trusts you. They know who you are. So, yeah.
So a question generally to all of you. I'm sure in a room with 1,500 young leaders, there'd be some young leaders here who feel like they have what it takes to be a great leader. And there'd also be a bunch of young leaders here who maybe say, well, I'm not really a leader, or I don't have what it takes, or I don't have what the person next to me has. What would your encouragement be to them if they're feeling a little bit discouraged or feeling like they don't have what they need to be a great leader?
So I think that the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what is it that you really care about? So you can look really close to home and think if you have a pet, like a dog or a cat, or you can look at your parents or your family or your best friend. And then you ask yourself, what would I do to protect that person? And then as you look at your life, as you lead it in every day, you need to ask yourself, am I prepared to stand up for the people around me in my life? Am I prepared to make sure that those people are protected and that when bad things happen to them, I stand up and say, that's not okay? So it's to look for the opportunities to be the hero in every day instead of being the villain, instead of being the one that's picking on someone, you're the one that's saying it's not okay to pick on someone. And there are so many of those tiny opportunities in every single day if you keep your eyes open for it. And it's not so hard to stand up for someone else when you need to. It's much harder to stand up for yourself, I think. But when you think you're protecting someone smaller or someone weaker than you, then it's an easy thing to do. And look for those little opportunities and do that every time that you can. And then it'll get easier and easier.
Yeah, awesome.
I think also, following on from what Michelle was just saying, some of the best leaders I've known and come across in the workplace have been ones that didn't actually think they were a good leader. And some of the worst leaders I've been influenced by or worked with have been those that thought they were going to be a really good captain or a really good leader. So whether you think you are or you think you're not, that doesn't always translate into you being or not being a leader. So you don't know until you're actually thrust into that situation. And one thing that I can say is that, following from what Zen was saying with respect and humility and doing the right thing, great leaders get down into the trenches with their peers and actually muck in with them. You think about it from a sporting perspective. Pick your favourite AFL team, your favourite cricket team, favourite netball team, it doesn't matter. The captain on that team isn't the one that speaks the most or speaks the best in front of camera and is good at flipping a coin. It's the one that goes out there and leads by example and says, this is how the job should be done. And that's what leadership is as well.
Yeah, I love that. Leading by example and behaving in a way that you want the people around you to behave. And also I love what you both said, like when you're having a bad day as a young leader, that's good. Whether or not you're having a bad day doesn't determine if you're going to be a good or a bad leader. Every person goes through that. So just as we prepare for our question time in just a minute, I'd just love to hear, it's not every day you have an opportunity to encourage 1,500 young leaders. So just before I give them an opportunity to ask you questions, what would each of you just love to encourage them or speak to them, just a leadership thought or something that they can take away? If you haven't written anything down, now would be the time because you're about to get gold. So what is it that you would love these young leaders to take away about being a leader and being a positive influence in their school and their home?
Probably I'll start off first, Ike. Be yourself, have trust, have faith in yourself. You can always, do what you want to do. And whatever you love to do, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your, your carers that this is what I want to be. Don't be disheartened if you can't make it because you don't know what are the capabilities that you have, what is it that you can do for others. If you find that this is what I can do and I want to make it happen, if you have that will, you have the way. So you have to look for that path, and definitely there are a lot of people out there who can definitely support you, can assist you. There are many service providers, there are your teachers, your parents, your friends, your relatives. They'll be able to help you. If your mom and dad can't help you, there are others who can help you.
Awesome.
You just have to look for that path, okay? And make it happen.
Thanks, Sam.
Well, I find that so far what everyone is saying, so Sean as well, like get your hands dirty, a good leader's the one that's also willing to follow. All of these things, trust me, they will naturally happen for you when you follow your passion, okay? So if you follow your passion, it doesn't feel like work anymore. You are, like as a leader, you will get your hands dirty because you're so passionate about it. So Sean is obviously gonna, because he's passionate about, gelato, he's gonna do everything he can to make that business work. And it no longer feels like work. So I think the biggest takeaway is to really find out what you love and pursue that, even when someone tells you that you shouldn't do that, that there's no money in it. Don't listen to that, because trust me, if you just follow what you love, you will work hard, you will be a good leader, and the security, the right company, all of that just kind of falls into place.
Beautiful. Thank you. What about you guys?
I would say, remember that no one ever got to be the best in the world at what they do the first time they did it.
Yeah.
If you want to be the best in the world at what you do, you need to practice that thing over and over and over again. You need to read about it, you need to watch videos about it, you need to ask everyone you meet what their advice is about it, and you need to practice, 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 learn, learn, learn. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it, and you can be a champion if you want to be, but I think the most important thing to be is to be as best as you can be at the thing you love doing.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Sean?
And I think following on the doing what you love, when there's things that you love doing, it's very easy to do them. As Pav was highlighting earlier, making gelato is really easy, but I also mop floors, I also pick up rubbish, and I also do a lot of other crappy jobs. And every job you will ever do in your life will always have some part of it that is not so much fun. And the leadership side of things is actually getting in and doing that just as much as doing the good stuff. Yeah, so awesome. That my team actually says, well, if he's willing to do it, I'm happy to do it too. Yeah. And I think if the one thing that I'd say to all of you that I wish someone had told me when I was your age is that little voice inside you that says, I wish I could do this, or I wonder if I could be good at that. It took me many, many years to actually listen to that voice. I only started my gelato business a bit over a year ago. I wish I'd done it years and years ago. So if you do have that little voice, don't do what I did and take 20 plus years to listen to that voice. You guys, you're young, you can actually do something about it from the beginning and give it a crack.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. So young leaders, you've got actually, and it's Gusto Gelato here in Perth, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So
yes.
If you want some really, really good gelato, come down to Leaderville. It's awesome.
Yeah, yum, yum. We're all like having cravings for ice cream today, that's for sure. So young leaders, take a moment now to write down your main thought, the thing that you loved most about what at least one of these panellists have said, and also we'll be grabbing our questions for them at the same time. So we'll let our Halogen volunteers grab a few questions from you as well before we wrap up the afternoon. What could this mean for me? I think our team's been organised. We've got our questions. Okay. We've got time for a couple of questions before we let our panellists go and release them. So, first question right here. Thanks.
Was it easy to achieve the job that you have now?
Can I answer this?
Go, of course you can.
Well, it actually, much like what Sean said, it took me a while before I actually followed my passion. So in 2010, so 6 years ago, I decided that I wanted to be a psychologist for refugees. And that was my passion. And everyone told me, there's no need for that. That's not an issue here. Don't do that. So I worked at IBM. I did a PhD and master's. I tutored at the business school. And honestly, I just found myself coming back around. And yeah, now I'm providing counselling and yeah, running a social media campaign for refugees.
Yeah, wow. Wow,
So,
there
yeah,
you go. Thank
it took a
you.
while.
Thank you. And our next question up here. Thanks.
My name is Zoe from Nedlands Primary School, and my question is, when you were young, what did you want to be?
Ooh. I think I'll answer that. All right, 25 years ago, when I graduated in 1991, I just told my dad, being an Indian and being a Muslim is not very easy. We are very conservative. So I just, go to my dad and tell my dad I want to be a police officer. So he was, surprised and he was shocked. He was angry. He said, no, you can't. Then I said, no, I want to be a police officer. That is what I love to do. All right? If you want to see your daughter succeed, that's the only job that I'm going to do, and that will make me succeed in life. So he gave me a chance, because I'm not stubborn, but I just try to explain to him, logically, why I want to be a police officer and how I can, help others, all right? So he gave me a chance, he gave me his blessings, and here I am. I was a police officer back in Singapore for 18 years, and now I'm in Perth since 2008. I'm still a police officer, and I want to make that difference. That's it.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful, so good. So good. And our last question for our wonderful panel, remember to say your name and your school.
Hi, my name's Oliver from St. Benedict's, and what did it take you guys to become good leaders like you are now?
Standing up. I think just standing up and saying yes, because I was really scared for a long time and I was so shy, and when people would offer me opportunities I would just say no and try and hide from them, and I turned down a lot of good ice cream because I was too shy to ask for it. And I let a lot of opportunities go because I was too shy to stand up and say, choose me, let me try, let me give it a go. And you know what? It's not that hard once you do that, because no one expects you to be perfect. No one expects you to get it right the first go. As long as you're authentic and humble and follow your passion, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, awesome.
I think also, Oliver, to answer your question, and for everyone out there, I don't think I'm a great leader. I could always be better. The way I got there was making lots of mistakes. And those mistakes helped me learn, and I think that you can learn a lot more from doing something wrong than doing right. Sometimes making a mistake is a better learning experience than actually getting it correct. So I think that was a really big help for me.
Yeah, learn from your mistakes. We have loved having you here this afternoon. We've got some students here. Come on over. Shay, Phoebe, Holly and Trent from Sacred Heart. They've actually got a gift for you today. So come on over, guys. You can bring it right over to them. Bring it over. Give them their gift. That's it. Shake their hands. You all know how to shake hands now.
I have to declare this gift because I'm a police officer.
Did you want to say something?
Yes.
Awesome.
On behalf of all the young leaders here today, we would like to make you a special thank you by rewarding you these gifts.
Would you please thank our panel one more time as they leave? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.